Hi guys, I'm Shmi, hello and welcome back to the channel where you join me today for a first drive in the brand new AMG GT Black Series. Since it was first introduced, this is a day that I've been looking forward to experience what the car is like, especially now that I've secured an allocation. One of these is to become a future Shmi-mobile, and today is the first opportunity to experience what it's all about. We have a number of the cars around in the high-tech silver and the exclusive AMG Magma Beam here at the Lausitz Ring in Germany, the perfect place to experience what these cars are capable of. We'll have a quick run through of all of the details, talk about the aero, the design, the features, what's gone into making this the ultimate track car, and then I will get an opportunity to hop on board myself to go out for a drive to see what it's all about. Just look at these cars here in the pit lane, so aggressive and so purposeful, the most track-focused versions of the AMG GT, following from the GTR and the GTR Pro, but dialed up to new extremes. The GT Black Series is the sixth car to wear that AMG Black Series badge, always representing their most hardcore and driver-focused cars to be driven in locations like this, out on the track, exactly what we're going to do today in Anger. Just looking at the car, you can see the gigantic rear spoiler. There's an active flap on the second upper deck. To match with that at the front, there's also the manually extendable front splitter, which has these stabilizers as well to keep it in place with how much downforce it creates. The car has a new engine, the 4-litre Biturbo V8 flat plane crank. Hear a little bit of it as the car comes past, making 730 horsepower and 800 newton meters of torque. It's also fitted with new super sticky rubber. Inside we've got bucket seats, a roll cage and harnesses. There's obviously a new soundtrack we're going to be hearing plenty of today as well. These cars in the high-tech silver are going to be the lead or pace cars for today. We're going to be driving the Magma Beam cars, the exclusive paint from AMG for the GT Black Series, a new colour that's been introduced with the car, and certainly in the sunshine here, standing out quite a lot. Now, after doing a lot of miles recently in my SLS Black Series, I've been waiting to get behind the wheel of this one, but also having used my GTR, the pre-facelift car, and the GTR Pro for track days, for road trips, for daily driving, I'm fascinated to get a full feel for what this is going to be like when everything is fully dialed up to the max, ultimate experience on the racetrack. To go through things in a little bit more detail, around the front we have this massive front grille, inherited from the AMG GT3 race car. This is all to do with cooling. Down below, this front splitter, for racetrack use, you can undo the clips underneath, pull it forward and attach the stabilizers, and it produces 240 kilos more downforce than the GTR Pro did before. That is a lot, obviously matched by the wing around the back. To continue round, more aero work with the flicks, with the airflow going through the curtains, slightly extended arches as well, carbon fiber body panels with the louvers here for air to come out of the wheel wells, the radiator setup, like in the GT3 car, positioned at an angle, carbon fiber pieces here in the bonnet to get that air to escape as fast as possible, and of course help with the cooling through to the new engine as well. We've got a new carbon fiber roof, carbon mirror caps, carbon side skirts, carbon just about everywhere, a new wheel design, 20-inch at the rear, 19-inch at the front, a wheel specifically for the car, wearing the Cup 2R rubber, perfectly suited. All cars have the gloss black for the boot lid, again lighter glass as well, and then back here the upper tier of the wing, as you can see, has this central aero flap which can go up to 20 degrees to help keep it even more planted at the back, and you can manually adjust and change the angles of the central step as well. Down here at the back, carbon diffuser, aggressive central sections, quad tailpipes, 2 on either side as well. Basically, this is an ultimate track machine. Let's have a quick look at the interior of the car while we're right here. Inside, Dynamica for all of the finish. This has the orange stripes, the orange embroidery and the stitching as well. We've got the titanium cage behind with the harnesses. Of course, it has the race mode. Gone are things like the cover over the cup holders to save some weight, the pockets that you'd have on the doors replaced by these grab handles, perforations here looking fantastic as well. But this is a car that is built to be driven, which is in a moment exactly what we're going to do. This is it then, the moment I've been waiting for. I'm wearing the 4-point harness which hooks through the seats to the cage behind. We're going to pop the car up into race mode. We're going to start with traction on and in automatic. We'll get to some changes in a second, but basically all I think is set. 7-speed dual clutch. We'll give some flashes to say that I'm ready to go. This is it. This is the moment. My first drive in the AMG GT Black Series here at the Lausitzring, in the Magma Beam car, following the high-tech silver being driven by Ben Schneider up ahead, a man who knows a thing or two, DTM champion, and now always running the pace cars at these events, and of course, he can drive, so keeping up might be a challenge. We'll see how that goes. I will say instantly, in race mode, you hear that it is very loud in here. You hear a lot of the sound out of this thing that comes obviously through the speakers. The Pro did it a bit, the regular GTR originally didn't. Oh wow, but you can instantly lean on it. You can just lean on the car straight away. Check out this, the grip over the bumpy Lausitzring, then the power down, 730 horsepower. This is fast. This is really fast. Brakes as well, very, very confident. Whoa, this is race car. Obviously Cup 2s, lots of grip. This is the outlap, foot down, over 200 Ks. Now firm on the anchors, confident stopping power. It's very, very loud with that sound from the speakers, it has to be said. Traction intervening, we'll have to pop that up into sport mode in a second. Just easing into it, getting a feel for what we're doing. It's very, very, very firm in race mode by default, so let's go to the regular sport suspension. AMG ride control in sport. Let's go ESC sport, sport handling mode. Down the straight here in the speedway. 240, 250. Firmly onto the anchors. Wow, that stopping power is impressive. Should get a little bit more freedom now, thanks to the traction control, and I feel it already. Tell you what, this is a car that you can jump in and drive very, very, very quickly. Very quickly. Wow! Trying to discern the routes and the lines here. Chasing bend. If there's a way to learn a car on a track, it's definitely this. Whoa! It's so different to the GTR and the GTR Pro. Obviously massively faster, but also the Aero, the grip, the braking. Check that out! Those brakes are mad! I overbroke there just because I was enjoying the feel of it so much. But the car communicates everything with you. You know what it's doing. This is fantastic! What a brilliant car! I mean, this is what we hoped it was going to be. I just hope that people do end up tracking them. Okay, yeah, a little bit of traction there. The speed pickup is just 240. 250. 260 on the dash before the brakes. Into T1 here. Over the curbs. Got a tight apex there. It tells you what it's doing, what it wants. Now the other thing I want to try is pressing and holding the traction button to go onto the 9-stage AMG traction control toggle that was introduced for the GTR from the GT3 style race car setup. We'll keep it in the middle setting. You can adjust that to change the amount of slip the car will give you. But I tell you what, the speed with which we're driving from the off, this is mega. It's really fast. I'm concentrating so much because it's so fast. speaker sound, put traction control back on. So we go into the pit lane. That was quite a workout. It's an intense car to drive, seriously intense. Whew. Epic, 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 epic. What a crazy experience. Crazy, 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 crazy experience. All right, park. Nuts, totally nuts. Very hot, very, very, very epic though. What a drive. The cars are in high demand, almost immediately heading back on out, but what a drive, a first experience. We've got some more on the flyby. And yes, the sound is not the loudest, certainly not as loud from the outside as you hear it when you're on the inside. But in terms of the actual drive, what is it like? Well, it's quite easy, it's not intimidating. You can get to about 90% of the car's ability, like in the AMG GTR and in the GTR Pro. You can just grab it by the steering wheel, put down the power, but obviously there's a lot of power, there's a lot of aero grip, there's a lot of downforce. It demands respect. To get that extra percentage out of it, I think would take some practice, take some extra skill, but it's a car that is just insanely quick. It's very fast. Down this straight, approaching up towards 270 kilometers per hour in not that long a straight. We're talking, what, at that speed, that's about 165 miles per hour or so. Just immensely fast, but so communicative as well. You know what it's doing. You feel like you're in complete control. Obviously, when you disable traction, which does hold it back quite a lot, and go into sport or then up onto the toggle, you get even more ability, even more feel from what's going on. And I just think they look so good as well. This car looks immense. It looks like GT3 car. In fact, it's got as much downforce, well, more downforce than the GT4 race car. Obviously not wearing slicks, but road tyres instead, which will never have quite the grip that slicks have, but there are a number of different options. In fact, these front cars are actually running the harder compound of the Cup 2R. There are two different configurations of the MO Mercedes original tyre stamp, a harder compound and a softer compound, with obviously varying longevities and slightly different grip as a result. But what a drive, and what a tremendous thing. Flying by again. Sorry, it's behind the wall, but you hear the sound. Yes, not the loudest. I mean, this car is on and idling. You can hear massive fans, obviously lots and lots of cooling. I haven't yet mentioned you've got the red touch. This confuses me. Why this is red? I don't quite understand why it's red around the V8. Yes, different engine, it's a different badge, but the burbles, it's not that loud, it's not that grumbly. I mean, standing here, the fans, the Magma Beam car are louder than this high-tech silver car. There's another one rolls in, just so cool. Obviously covered in rubber around the front as well now from all of the driving. Yes, what an experience. Does it meet expectations? I think in many ways, of course, yes, in terms of the speed, and my expectations were like through the roof high. I'm just a little bit frustrated by how much of the sound there is on the inside. As that car goes the other way, I think they're about to do some filming front and back of the cars. Just menacing, just so aggressive, super awesome, super incredible. And yeah, I mean, it's so fast. That's the big thing, that's the big take home. Really fast. 0 to 100 kilometers an hour, 62 miles an hour, 3.2 seconds. 0 to 200 kilometers an hour, 124 miles an hour, 9 seconds. Under 9 seconds. Very quick. Not necessarily fastest supercar quick, but pretty much up there. Wow, anyway, there are a few more things we need to go and check out, including just inside the pit boxes here. What we're looking at here in the exhibit is the front splitter, this lower carbon fibre assembly with the manually adjustable and extendable front section. Now, to show you a little bit more about this and the way it actually works, underneath you have these two catches that you release. So you have to get down on your knees in front of the car, release those, and then basically it can slide in or out depending which way you're going. So it slides back into place. Now, when it's extended is when you get 250% more downforce than the GTR Pro, with only a 3.4 kilo weight penalty to have the entirety of this mechanism. This is obviously offset and balanced. Previously the car had a lowering rubber section at the front, an aero piece when you increase the speed. Now of course you have this that slides in and out with some sensors to inform you when it's actually extended, because of course this is for the racetrack only. Great to be able to see exactly how this works here and demonstrate it with those catches. We do have a few more things to take a look at with the car. For example, the engine bay and what they've had to do for the cooling with the new power plant, as well as the interior in more detail. But firstly, check out that lineup in the background. All 6 of the AMG Black Series models are here together. This is spectacular. From the first car, the 2006 SLK 55 Black Series, 2007 CLK 63, 2008 SL 65, then there was a short gap to the 2011 C63, 2013 SLS, and then another gap before we have car number 6, the GT Black Series, although with similar characteristics in common: lighter weight, more power, more focused for the track than their standard counterparts. But let's come and talk then about what has gone into the engine. To do so, we will need to open up the carbon fiber bonnet. We've actually got a new opening mechanism, now a double pull down there, because for the cooling, they've had to move away from a single catch in the middle. But open this up, very lightweight. Have a look at this, completely different to the GTR and the GTR Pro. Starting at the front with the cooling, the GT3 style radiator, and then of course the flat plane crank 4-litre Biturbo V8, which compared to the GTR and the GTR Pro actually makes 145 horsepower and 100 Newton meters more. Those are big numbers, requiring of course the gearbox to be reworked to handle the additional torque as well. And when you combine that much extra power with also reducing the weight of the car by 35 kilos versus the GTR Pro, plus having all of this downforce, which gives you 800 kilos of downforce at VMAX, up to 325 kilometers per hour, you can start to see why this is quite so potent. It's also a pretty cool engine bay with the black one man, one engine AMG plaque worn over that carbon fiber cover. And of course, all of these openings for the outlets, for the airflow to come out and up through the bonnet as well. Now with these dual clasps, one on either side. So let's close that back down. You've also got the small gurneys here, just deflecting air up, which helps with the airflow to escape out of there too, as do the louvers here on the wheel arches. When you get the air that's swelling inside the wheel arch, they help it to escape as quickly as possible. We've got the facelift, updated headlights. We've got all of the other aero pieces going on around and about. And instead of the full radar sensor for the star here, that's open for even more cooling to come through too. We've got these new side skirts, again, more aero work, all sorts of things just to take in. The more you look at the car, more of those you notice. I'm also going to pop open the boot just to show you back here something about the wing. Now, we touched on how you've got these active aero sections, you've got the manually adjustable sections, and then inside you will see how you've got these support brackets, because the car has so much downforce that via the normal connection points it would be pushing too hard. So those are installed so that the wing goes directly through them, the carbon fiber boot lid that you have back here. Obviously, again, saving some weight in combination with the lighter glass. We've also got the new GT Black Series badge. The badge has actually changed versus the previous models, where it sat just underneath the AMG logo instead. Now I'm going to climb in just to show you a few more things inside the car as well. Let's just wake it up quickly. In fact, let's start it. Look, there we go. Lets us know that the front splitter is extended. The engine starts up. It is a very different sound to the GTR and the GTR Pro. So things to point out here, there used to be a cover over the top. Oh, we just got the radio on. There used to be a cover over the top here of the cup holders. Things like that taken away to save some weight. Obviously, we've got all the lovely orange details, the bucket seats and harnesses, the cage behind, which still gives us a decent amount of luggage space back there behind the cage. You wouldn't really normally use this space anyway, so nothing too much has been lost from that perspective. On the steering wheel itself, we have the toggles here, the hotkeys to go between the different driving modes, Sport, Sport Plus, up into race mode. These touch controls you can actually change. So at the moment that's set for drive or manual. This is set to do the splitter spoiler settings, but if you press them, you can change and go through a host of different screens and settings and have exactly what you'd like. So I would probably be going for drive and traction control if you want to put it into sport traction, or if you want to press and hold this, that's when you can then use the full 9-stage traction control via the central toggle, which was introduced in the AMG GTR, the Beast of the Green Hell. A really cool detail and feature that this has. We've also got the Black Series badge here at the bottom of the steering wheel itself, and it gives you some indications in the software, but otherwise it uses the familiar interface that we have. So you've got the different driving settings, you've got the track pace app, you've got the ability to have your laps, for example, timed, and see different bits of data. It's currently in German at the moment, but it's all in there. It all works pretty nicely through the updated system, which gave it this flatter touch panel, these illuminated touch controls as well. Again, here you can select your driving mode, your gearbox settings, suspension settings, the traction control state. Over here, auto start stop, spoiler, exhaust, and that's for your volume as well up top. And these, obviously, when you press them, they change, which is all very nice to actually look at and interact with. Not too hard, not the full touch panel where you don't really know what you're pressing. One comment has always been, by the way, about this car, that this is very awkward to hit, because with the bucket seat you can't push your arm back, so you have to either do it kind of awkwardly or you have to reach over with your other arm, which is, again, a little bit of a fiddle. But you can see on the screen, you've got the little graphic down there, I think shows us we've got the spoiler extended, but otherwise all pretty self-explanatory. You can change the screens here too and bring up different displays, you know, depending what you want. If you want your lap times, you can have those here with the track pace, or you can have a host of different screens. It's all very good. I like it a lot. Got familiar with these systems obviously from the other AMG models that I've been driving, and you can go to the classic view as well should you prefer, so that all works totally naturally, which is great. Here as well, by the way, you also have a few driver displays, so to speak. If you go here into dynamic select, you can have motor data, for example, and driving data, which just give you a live interface of what's happening. So give the car a few blips here. But a lot of that sound does come through the speakers, which is really quite interesting. If I just point around to the back, you do get some cracks from the back. You do get some of the noise coming from there, but the majority of it seems to be from inside. Anyway, this is a very, very special place to be. Quite enjoy. It's an awful lot. It's getting towards the end of the day, but we've got a busy pit lane with all of the cars. But what a day it has been. A first drive, a first opportunity to experience the 6th Black Series model, following on from some of those great cars that came before, and a car very close to me with the miles I've enjoyed in my SLS Black Series and also in the GTR, the GTR Pro, and in the future, one of these as well. I've taken you guys through all of the details, but I'm looking forward to the car arriving maybe around the end of the year. We'll have to see exactly how it looks and what the dates are going to be. All I do know is that it's going to have a lot of miles ahead of it. Track days, events like this, the Nürburgring, going to, well, to VMAX runs, I hope, taking it far and wide, who even knows? But I can tell you, this is a car that I'm looking forward to enjoying a lot of time with. So a huge thanks to Mercedes-AMG for an awesome driving experience with the car today. We will have to see what we can do with the sound, maybe the sound outside as well, and some discussion around the colours of the car too. A few more things in the back of my mind, but today, for a first experience, really, really good fun. So thank you very much for watching. As always, guys, I appreciate your support an awful lot. I'll see you again very soon. Cheers!